Welcome to the program. The record-breaking floods that ripped through Western Australia's remote Kimberley region earlier this month made news around the world. In the days that followed, hundreds of people were evacuated. Many are still waiting for word on when they can go home. So far, at least 38 homes and another 37 businesses are confirmed as destroyed, but it's feared those numbers will rise. Reporter Erin Park embedded with the evacuees in the town of Derby, with just a mobile phone to film on, to document how they and the community are coping.
Almost 300 people were evacuated when floods swept through the central Kimberley. It's already one of the most isolated regions in Australia. Now large sections of the only major highway have been wiped out, leaving some communities completely cut off by road.
So we'll go to Nanga, and then someone need to go Kingstown.
Around 150 people have ended up here, in the small port town of Derby. On a steamy morning on the main drag of town, Trevor Menmuir is doing his rounds. A youth worker by trade, he is now helping the evacuees.
To come off your community, your hometown, your country, I put myself in that position and I'd be devastated.
Today's highlight, a visit to the local op shop, which is helping provide free clothes.
We came with a helicopter by emergency. Yeah.
What was it like? How did you feel?
Oh, it felt real good, but I was tired. Yeah.
It's been 4 days since these elders were evacuated to motels more than 200 kilometres away from home.
No, we didn't have any more news about our place. Yeah.
I don't smoke, sorry. We don't smoke.
They'll remain here indefinitely, waiting to find out whether their homes have survived.
We got on the biggest chopper. Come here, yeah. Me and my family from that same little community.
When the waters surged in the town of Fitzroy Crossing, Elizabeth Jingle and her family began to panic.
Water was rising up, rain was pouring down. We can hear these young fellas coming up with the canoe. It was nighttime, somewhere about 8. We got to rescue you, Mom. We thought we came with a big boat or something. It was a little canoe, and there was 6 of us in that little canoe. We had our old lady with the dialysis.
Her neighbours had to be airlifted to safety. And the next day, they were all told they'd be flown to Derby.
I was scared. Yeah, but I had a lot of family, and I got brave inside when I had a lot of family in there too. That's Derby Lodge. That's where my accommodation is. Yes, and I'm walking over this way for my supper now.
People firstly want to know...
But some people chose to stay in their bush communities as the floodwaters approached, and there's now growing concern about their well-being. Emergency welfare workers have called a meeting for the evacuees from the Nookamba community, which is 200 kilometres south.
Are they talking about having a meeting?
Should we go listen?
Yeah.
I've just stepped out of the meeting. It's been organised by the Department of Communities and staff from the Red Cross. I was told that I could sit in the back but not film the proceedings. The reason for the meeting is concern about rumours swirling about anxiety back at Nookamba and some families actually trying to escape travel through the floodwaters because they're so anxious and wanting to get into town. So there's obviously a lot of concern about that situation.
The water went up the gate. Up to the gate, I meant to say.
It's not just Aboriginal communities affected.
Camballin's a little town, I think 8 permanent residents, and when school's back on and nurses are out here, the town usually swells to about 50 people.
Penny Gross is driving an hour and a half south to Kimberley to see her partner Robert's house for the first time since the floods.
Nobody expected it to peak as high as it did. Today is just really about going out and seeing what's left.
Her partner Robert Reed has lived here for 20 years. He stayed through the floods.
I haven't pulled much out of this rope.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that bed was floating around. You can see the water was up here. Oh, I was trying to keep an eye on how fast the water was rising. At the finish of the flood, the water was... Just say the water was down here. It was rising 100 mil every hour. I felt something brush my foot out the front once. I did think about a crocodile every now and then, but it might have been a fish. Could have been a barramundi. Yeah.
The 24 homes here still haven't had water or power reconnected, and it's steaming hot.
How it's affected the whole little town. It was such a peaceful, quiet little town. Normally we'd be out fishing at the moment in the tinnies or surfing or having a nice relaxing weekend, but you've just always got this devastation in the back of your mind about what's happened, how it's happened, what needs to happen.
Back in Derby, some good news arrives. Elizabeth Jingle's house is okay.
Well, they rang me up today. They said it was good, but we could go back anytime. They're going to give us a call. Yeah, and they just worried about water and lights. Yeah, and we will be able to go back home soon. I got happy. I said, thank you to that lady. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah.
Many others are still waiting to hear if and when they'll be able to return home. They're making the best of the situation, as people accustomed to great change.